opinions.
Oh yeah, let's jump right into this shit, man. We got a whole lot to talk about. Of course, I'm joined with my man Bo. Let me get my man on screen. Where you at, dog? Put your camera up, man. There he is. What's good with your family? We got a lot of shit to talk about, man. A lot of shit to talk about.
All hail the king.
I'm telling you, man. Listen, we just gonna jump right into it. Fuck the prefacing. Listen, we're gonna piss a lot of motherfuckers off tonight, or this morning. We're gonna piss a lot of motherfuckers off tonight, this morning. Wherever you at this evening, this afternoon. Dog. Manny Pacquiao. Bo, let me ask you, man. Is he the greatest fighter of this era?
Woo! Oh man, that's a tough one for me because I'm gonna tell you why. Right now, at this moment, I'm gonna have to say no, but he's closing the gap real fast. The reality was Keith Thurman had been out for almost 2 years. He didn't have a great showing against Josecito Lopez, and this fight right here, though, although Pacquiao gave an excellent fucking performance, although he was able to turn back the clock. If he goes and he beats the winner of Earl Spence and Sean Porter, and he does to them what he did to Keith Thurman, then we'll have a conversation. You're talking about he became a 3-belt fucking champion at the age of 40? Right. Yeah, then we can have that conversation because now he didn't fight one, but he fought 2 of the young dogs. But as it stands right now, Keith Thurman, I think for me, I didn't believe, I thought Keith Thurman would win because I thought it was just going to be a matter of youth taking over, right? I thought Father Time was going to catch up to Manny Pacquiao, and that was going to be it. Mm-hmm. But I think, honestly speaking, he was the favorite. I don't think a lot of people believed in Keith Thurman. Like I said, Thurman's performance against Josecito Lopez, especially when Pacquiao went to that body, it's not beating Keith Thurman is not enough for me to say that he's the best fighter of this era. However, I will say this: anybody that says he is, I don't have a problem with that because Keith Thurman is a young, undefeated motherfucking fighter in his prime, and that is something that Floyd Mayweather at the advanced age of almost 40 did not do. So I wouldn't have a problem if people was to say, yeah, but for me right now, I need more than Keith Thurman for me before I can get there.
Why does he got to do so much for you? There's things that he's done, like become an 8-division world champion. Let me ask you that. Let me just ask you this.
Okay.
And I know the answer, but just to clarify to the people, who's the best of this era?
Floyd Mayweather's the best of this era to me.
All right. So Floyd Mayweather was never an 8-division world champion.
Yeah, but
hold on.
I'm looking
hold
at.
On.
Okay, go ahead.
Floyd Mayweather never beat a young, hungry lion at an advanced stage.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, what Floyd Mayweather has done is he's beaten some odd 24, 22 to 26 former or current world champions.
Mm-hmm.
But is that better? And I'm just playing devil's advocate. Is that better than becoming an 8-division world champion?
Yes, it is. And here's why. Number one, Manny Pacquiao. People forget Manny Pacquiao lied about his age to even start his career. So Floyd did things in 5 division where Manny Pacquiao did them in 8. So that's just 3 more divisions. So if I have to look at it, I say, well, if Floyd could have started at the same time Pacquiao started, maybe he would have won almost as many titles in different divisions.
That's a good point.
Then, of course, we're looking at the IBO. I don't count the IBO as a legit world fucking title belt.
Well,
I don't look at that as legit.
That's not why he was a champion at 140. We already established
they're
that.
talking about the ring, him winning the ring.
No, he was not ring. No, he was the lineal champion. That's why.
Ricky, right.
So
right.
So we've already established that. So the IBO doesn't matter. He was lineal champion.
Right, but the lineal champion, the lineal title, that's not necessarily a government sanctioned body championship belt.
Doesn't matter.
So I understand it don't matter, but it's
better.
better.
It's better than a world title. You have WBA, WBO, IBF, WBC. All right, you can compile 2 or more of those. Let me say 2 to 3. That makes you a unified champion. Mm-hmm. If you compile all 4, that makes you undisputed, which is the best gift. And between both of those, or at least the best prize, and between both of those is lineal status.
I understand that, but that a world are we talking world titles now? If you're saying so, like you said, we had the conversation. So and you guys go back in 3 Kings and watch it because I don't want to go too long. So I also take that into consideration. But here's the big key factor for me: Manny Pacquiao was never a unified champion, so he was winning 1 belt at a time per division. He was never a unified champion. The 2 times I believe he fought in a unification matchup, one was one man with Marquez, and I believe another one was Floyd. He lost both of them. Floyd was unified champion. At one point, Floyd held 4 belts at one time at 147 and 154. Yep. Okay? So that holds a little bit more weight to me than a dude just winning 1 belt, because you can fight, like, for example, Manny Pacquiao fought at David Diaz. David Diaz was the weakest fucking link at that division. When Manny Pacquiao fought him. Now, it's not to say that Pacquiao wouldn't, because me and you talked about that. I think Nate Campbell was the man, but it's not to say Manny Pacquiao wouldn't have beat him. It's just the fact that you fought the weakest dude. Right. So sometimes I have to look at that and be like, oh man, come on, man. So, but for me, a dude becoming unified champion, a guy who is holding 2 belts in 2 separate divisions, 4 belts all together at one time. That holds a little bit more weight to me than a dude that's only gobbling up 1 motherfucking belt per division as he moves up. Because if you really want to look at it, that wouldn't be hard to do, especially if you fight the fucking weakest link at that division.
Yeah, very good point. And you know what? I agree with you. I just wanted to see how you was going to take some adversity if I threw a little bit of shit at you. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like
you do it every day, nigga. So, you've been doing this shit for what, 5 years now?
Right. I agree 100%. Floyd Mayweather is still the best of this era. Here's why. And Bo touched on it. You really pretty much touched on the one point that I look at. Manny Pacquiao never actually became the top motherfucker of any given division. You see what I'm saying? He was jumping divisions, taking belts here and there. Now, he did get lineal status defeating Ricky Hatton, and I believe it was Eric Morales, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I believe Marquez too, right?
I'm not sure if he got lineal status defeating Marquez, but I know it was Eric Morales and Ricky Hatton. You know what I'm saying? Okay. But in those 2 cases, he was the top dog in those 2 cases, but he never stood around or stayed around to fight anybody else at 140. I'll leave I think it was 130. He fought Eric Morales, correct? Was it 130 or 126? I can't remember. But I'll give him that division because he stayed there. He ended up fighting Marco Antonio Barrera in that same division. I think he fought Juan Manuel Marquez in or around that same division for the first fight that they had. You know what I'm saying? So I'll give him that. But as he went on that rise to fame where he was jumping weight class after weight class after weight class, pretty much where he became noticeable as the Manny Pacquiao of today, he was never the top dog of any division. You see what I'm saying? He would get a title, then move to the next one. Get a title, then move to the next one. You see what I'm saying? When he got into 140, wasn't never really the top dog at 140. You see what I'm saying? Manny Pacquiao was, 147, excuse me. Manny Pacquiao was active at 147. The top dog there was Floyd Mayweather.
Yes, sir.
Right? Floyd Mayweather left. The top dog ended up being who? Keith Thurman. You see what I'm saying? He was the only unified champion there.
That's true.
Now, I will say he defeated the former, the last top dog there, right? But it was in a case at which he was not the unified champion. Also, Keith Thurman was one fight removed from a 22-month layoff. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not diminishing his win whatsoever. 100% credit to Manny Pacquiao. He's 40 years old and fought that fight like he was 21 years old, bro. It was beautiful to see.
Yeah, it was.
And listen, I don't root for people because of what we do. I never root for anybody. You know what I'm saying? But in this case, I was rooting for Manny Pacquiao as the fight played on. I was like, man, this is a fucking excellent display. I gotta see him win this fight. You see what I'm saying? And I never do that, bro. So that should tell you something, right? But at the end of the day, you always got to take your emotions out of assessing something, given the correct assessment, or at least given a fair assessment, let me say that, about a given situation. So if we're going to say, or at least we're going to pose the argument that Manny Pacquiao is possibly the greatest fighter of this era, well, then you have to take out, all of the things that Floyd Mayweather did. You got to look at all of the things Bernard Hopkins did. Don't forget about that guy. See, a lot of people seem to forget about Bernard Hopkins. He is the oldest champion in boxing history at 48 years old. Who did he beat? Tavoris Cloud. Well, who was Tavoris Cloud at that time? Well, he was a guy that was undefeated, and he was working on his 5th title defense of the IBF title at the time. Okay? Mm-hmm. Then he beat him. Then after that, he beat Beibut Shumanov.
I was about to say, yeah, he beat Shumanov.
to become a unified world champion at the age of 48 years old, bro. Beibut Shumanov only had one loss, and that was to Gabriel Campillo. And I think he fought him once or twice and ended up beating him twice. You know what I'm saying? Or once. I know he avenged that loss. You know what I'm saying? But he defeated Beibut Shumanov, who was a live dog, and to this day, he's still a decent fighter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
I don't know if I mentioned it, but he gave Tavoris Cloud his first loss as well. You know what I'm saying? So while Tavoris Cloud, a lot of people, if you look at him now and say, well, shit, the motherfucker retired in 2014 after he got knocked out by Artur Beterbiev. You know what I'm saying? You could say, as of now, he wasn't shit. Fuck that win for Bernard Hopkins. But at that time, see, timing is everything. Right?
Right. Didn't he beat Pasquale when he was at his height too?
No, not Tavoris Cloud. No. Oh, you talking about Bernard Hopkins? Yeah. Well, I mean, we can go all into that, but my point is about Tavoris Cloud at that time, because this is the title win that put him in the history books. At that time, Tavoris Cloud was beating everyone he faced. Now, he did look bad against Gabriel Campillo. A lot of people thought he lost that fight, but he won. He was beating everybody he faced. And a lot of people are like, yo, this motherfucker right here is somebody we need to worry about at light heavyweight. Everyone was saying that at the time. Bernard Hopkins is like, Bernard Hopkins is like, no, we don't. I'll go fuck the nigga up right now. Give me that shit. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? So at 48 years old. So you got to look at B-Hop too, bro. You can't just look at Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao when you're trying to assess if he's the greatest of all time because of what he did tonight, because somebody else named Bernard Hopkins did the same. And
That's true.
And I would submit that Bernard Hopkins did it better because he became, after that, a unified champion. See? And that's where Bo's argument makes sense. He's saying it matters what Pacquiao does after this. You see what I'm saying? Let me go to the chat real quick. My man Virtuoso put 5 on it. He said if Vada was involved, would the fight play out differently? Nonetheless, Thurman showed up, and Manny is taking it to these young whippersnappers. You know, I was thinking the same thing, Virtuoso, but I don't want to put a stain on Manny Pacquiao's win right now. I don't. You know, I was sitting there, I'm watching the fight, bro, and I'm sitting there thinking, man, Thurman just hit this nigga with a flush right hand. Thurman's one of the hardest punchers in boxing. Okay?
Yes.
Now, Thurman hasn't had a knockout since, I believe, 2014. I know Julio Diaz is one of them. He knocked out somebody after that. It was like a retirement. I can't remember who it was. But there was somebody he knocked out after that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's been about 4 or 5 years since Keith Thurman's had a knockout on his resume. So, that happens when you up the competition. Guys are going to be able to take your power better than the people you fought that were in the lower tier competition. Obviously, right? And that's what happened with Keith Thurman. So that's fair. I think it was Louis Collazo he knocked out after.
It was Luis Collazo, and I think I don't know if that was 2015 or 14.
2015.
But it's been a minute
so
since
Thurman.
Maybe even wobbled somebody.
Right. If it's Louis Collazo, it's been 4 years because I know it was 2015 he fought him. I think it was Collazo. So it's been 4 years since he's had a knockout. You see what I'm saying? But still, Keith Thurman is still one of the hardest punchers. If you don't think he's one of the hardest punchers in the sport, he's definitely one of the hardest punchers in the division. All right? 100%. All right? So with that being said, I'm watching the fight. He hits Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao does the same shit he did when he was getting hit by Miguel Cotto. Remember that? Miguel Cotto, you definitely can't say he wasn't one of the biggest punchers in boxing at that time. He was knocking out every fucking body. I think only like 4 people or 5 people went to decision against him at that time. You see what I'm saying? He's hitting Manny Pacquiao flush. Manny Pacquiao stepping back, doing this shit, and then coming back forward. He did the same thing in this fight. Now, back then, when I saw him do that against Miguel Cotto, immediately, I was like, oh, this motherfucker taking something. He's taking something. But I won't say that today. You know what I'm saying? I won't say that today. All right? We'll leave that discussion for another time. At the end of the day, it's Keith Thurman's fault because the asterisk had been on Manny Pacquiao for years. Floyd Mayweather was the one that spawned it, right? The asterisk had been on Manny Pacquiao for years. So if Keith Thurman was really concerned about Manny Pacquiao cheating and shit, then he should have instated VADA. You see what I'm saying? Or at least they should have seeked that. See, Julian J. Rock Williams is over here saying, yo, no matter who I fight next, we are going to have VADA test us. We are doing random blood, piss, whatever type of testing he wants. We're going to have it. You see what I'm saying? And guess what? He doesn't even have the WBC title. Tony Harrison does. But he's saying we are still going to enlist VADA. If you want to fight me, we're enlisting VADA. See, Julian J. Rock Williams is saying that. Keith Thurman should have said the same thing if he was really concerned about Manny Pacquiao. But he did not. So the honest is on him. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not going to tarnish Manny Pacquiao's win because Keith Thurman's the dumbass that didn't go get VADA to see if this motherfucker was cheating. All right?
Exactly.
So, but at the end of the day, if we talk about what Manny Pacquiao had did tonight, and we want to say he's the greatest ever after this, then you got to look at guys like Bernard Hopkins. I'm not greatest ever, greatest of this era, excuse me. You got to look at guys like Bernard Hopkins. You got to look at guys like what Floyd Mayweather has done. You see what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, Floyd Mayweather in every single division he's been in was the top dog. Every single division. All right? From 130 all the way up to 154. He was the top dog. Lineal champion in every single division, bro. So let
me throw a name out there for you.
Go ahead.
That possibly could be considered. When you look at the body of work, and I know we talked about this, we said he didn't do enough, but if you still look at his overall body.
He's past him. He's past him.
You know what I'm talking about?
Andre Ward.
Yeah.
Yeah, Manny Pacquiao's well past Andre Ward.
Okay.
That's not even close.
All right. Now, I am going to say this about B-Hop. Because I think this was the fight that if you named a lot of fights, but this fight kind of solidified it for me when I thought about it, was that performance B-Hop gave against Pavlik. This was a Pavlik that running through motherfuckers at that time.
Absolutely.
Okay? He, like, at that time, people was looking at Edison Miranda versus Jermaine Taylor. He dropped on the scene. He was just running through cats. So when I look at that performance, and mind you, B-Hop was a serious fucking underdog. That performance he put on was way better against that prime fighter, way better than what Pacquiao did against Thurman. Pavlik barely won a fucking round.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah. So when I look at it, I didn't think about Bernard, and you're right. Because I'm looking at it like you said. Everybody looks at Pacquiao, Floyd, but when I look at what Bernard done, and you put that next to Floyd, you can make the argument for Bernard even being over Floyd. To be honest, with you can make that argument.
That's why I say a lot of people.
Level of competition, you can make that argument.
Well, that's why I say a lot of people forget about B-Hop, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why they forget about B-Hop. Maybe, I don't know, maybe because he was at light heavyweight.
Him getting knocked out by Joe Smith.
Well, that's
why.
They weren't talking about him before that. When B-Hop was actually actively beating these motherfuckers, they weren't saying he was in the conversation against Floyd as the best fighter of this era. They weren't saying it, bro. I remember that. I don't know what it is. Maybe the way he fought? Was it the divisions he was in? Man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know what it was. B-Hop, you're right. B-Hop got left out. And somebody of my boxing ilk, I even leave him out. So you're absolutely right. And I couldn't sit here and tell you what it is. Once I hear the name, then it's like, you know what? Yeah. And I can think about it. But I think it's always that comparison of Floyd and Manny. And I think that's always been the comparison that's been drummed in our minds.
Yeah. Let me go to the chat real quick, man. My man Curtis Ostreicher, man, very, very knowledgeable dude. He's actually written some boxing books, man. He said it's a good debate. I have to look at Bernard Hopkins and his longevity and who he has fought. I use that same metric with Manny Pacquiao and his quality of opposition as well. Exactly. I mean, shit, Kelly Pavlik, Oscar De La Hoya, Jean Pascal, Antonio Tarver.
I mean, that list is long. Imagine these were dudes that was hot at that time.
Yeah, right. Let me keep going to the chat real quick. My man Lazo said Andre Ward beat a pound for pound top 5 guy twice in dominant fashion. Something Pac ain't do. So do you think Andre Ward defeating Sergey Kovalev twice is enough to put him over Manny Pacquiao as the best as a better fighter of this era?
No, no, I don't. No, I can't get there. I think this is what the thing was with Ward. If Ward would done according to what he planned to do, which was, let's say he'd have fought Usyk at cruiserweight and then fight Anthony Joshua, and he wins them fights. Oh hell yeah, you got a fucking argument for me. But the time frame from when he won the Super 6, and I know people look at that, to the time frame of the Kovalev fight, there's not enough there for me to say that, okay, that's enough for me to put you right there with Pacquiao, right there with Hopkins, right there with fucking Floyd.
Yeah.
So that's not enough for me.
Nah, I mean, we had a debate about this on Facebook. Andre Ward, he did well, but injuries unfortunately made it to where he didn't do enough. And on top of that, fighting Chad Dawson, even though Chad Dawson asked to go to 168, Chad Dawson told Andre Ward he would go to 168 to fight him. Andre Ward's management should have said, no, we will go to 175. You know why? Because Chad Dawson at that time was the lineal champion, and and he was the WBC champion, right?
Yes, he was.
Lineal and WBC champion at 175. So Andre Ward's management dropped the ball on that one, allowing Chad Dawson to go to 168, right? Where he has nothing to offer, just a name. You see? He should have went to 175, took his name, took his lineal status, and his WBC title. Andre Ward, for the same win, would have much more accolades under his belt. But he didn't do
that. He would.
Yep, but he didn't do that.
Yeah, he would. Listen, it's not to diminish him, but when you start looking at the resumes, and I'm not saying Ward ain't got names, Kessler, Froch, Arthur Abrams, Kovalev, but that's only what, 4, maybe 5 names. If we really look at it, you might come up with 4, maybe 5 names. Chad, wait a minute, Chad. Okay, let's do it. Froch, Kessler, Abraham, Chad Dawson, Kovalov. That's 5 names.
Well, Froch,
right?
Kessler. Hold on.
Bernard Hopkins.
Hold on. Froch, Kessler, Abraham. We're missing one.
Mm-hmm.
Froch, Kessler, Abraham.
I said
Dawson,
Froch, Kessler,
Kovalev.
Abraham, Dawson, and Kovalov.
5. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. That's 5 names, right? Now, if you look at Bernard Hopkins, Juan Pascual, Shumanov, Tavares Cloud, fucking and Antonio fucking Tarver. Who else we named?
Shit, man. Oscar De La Hoya, Antonio Tarver, Kelly
Patrick. I forgot about Oscar De La Hoya, Felix Trinidad.
Yeah. There's a bunch of them.
Yeah, damn.
There's a bunch of them.
Kelly Pavlik.
There's a bunch of them.
So you got them names. And then, of course, you look at Mayweather, you look at Pacquiao. I mean, Eric Morales, Marco Antonio Barrera, Wama with Marquez, Timothy motherfucking Bradley. And y'all know how I feel about that, but shit, I give him that. Timothy motherfucking Bradley. Okay, we just saw Keith motherfucking Thurman tonight. I mean, come on, man. So yeah. Then Floyd Mayweather, come on, please. Don't make me laugh.
Yeah, I mean, Floyd Mayweather done beat a whole bunch of motherfuckers, man. But yeah, it is what it is, man. Let me go back to the chat real quick. My man Curtis said again, right now I have Bernard Hopkins as the man because he has done it longer and he was fighting pretty well much up to his 50th, or at least to 50. I have Pacquiao in the same borough as B-Hop, just not the same hood just yet. Man, I'm tired as fuck. Nigga can't read. I'm tired, bro. Then he said, if Pacquiao continues this trend against any of these top guys, then I have him tied with Hopkins. As for Andre Ward, as much as I respect the man, he doesn't belong in this conversation. I agree 100%. He doesn't belong in this conversation 100%, man. I agree. Yeah. I agree. Let me keep
going.
Corey
Cunningham, 3 kings in the building.
Hold on. Let me keep going. The Cali Enigma, sports and entertainment. What's good, Cali Enigma? He said Manny Pacquiao is the 3rd best welterweight right now, in my opinion. He's saying he's behind Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. I agree with that. Nothing wrong with
that. Especially if Errol Spence beat Porter and he's a unified champion. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with that. My man Curtis Osherick has said again, people forget about B-Hop because a lot of these newbies are groupies of particular fighters. They just started getting into the game and frankly lack the insight to respect a technician like Hopkins. Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's not even
Hopkins
newbies.
Talked about that his whole career.
But it's not even newbies. It's a lot of motherfuckers in boxing. You got to understand, casuals have more of the boxing populace or a part of more of the boxing populace than pundits. You know what I'm saying? You got to be a pundit to understand what Bernard Hopkins is doing in the ring. If you're a casual, all you see is dirty tactics and a motherfucker that's not punching enough. You know what I'm saying? But if you're a pundit, you understand everything the motherfucker's doing on the inside, why he moved the way he moved, why he threw this punch before he would throw that punch, etc. You knew all of that. So with the fact that Bernard Hopkins fought a style that only pundits can appreciate, it's actually not just newbies. It's a lot of motherfuckers. What are we going to say about Corey, man? Go ahead.
Corey's like, people forget B-Hop won the middleweight tournament in 2000 against Trinidad, Keith Holmes, and he also had Antoine Eccles. I remember Antoine Eccles. I remember watching Antoine Eccles on Tuesday night motherfucking fights, dog. I remember him when he was coming up through the ranks.
Wasn't Keith Holmes a WBA champion at that time?
Yes, he was.
So,
yes, he was. Keith Holmes is another one. Yeah, Keith Holmes. Didn't he also beat and he gave him his second loss, but I really credited at his first loss because in his first loss he actually had to fight with one hand because he hurt his shoulders. That was that motherfucker. What's the dude name with the little curl and shit?
The curl.
It was like
you're not talking about William.
Yeah, right. William Joppy.
He hurt his hand against William Joppy?
No, William Joppy hurt his hand in a previous fight. We only had to fight on a jet, but he wound up losing it. And I'm like, okay, he had to literally fight that whole fight with one fucking hand.
Right.
But when Hopkins beat him, Hopkins beat the brakes off of him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I used to like William Joppy. I don't know why.
I did too, and I don't know why.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, to recap, man, y'all hit that like button, man. We got all these people watching this shit with 3 likes, man. Hit the like button, man.
What y'all doing?
Y'all not gonna get no fucking commentary anywhere else on YouTube like this, man. But yeah, at the end of the day, man, you know what I'm saying? You gotta, to me, if I put it in order, I got Manny Pacquiao behind Bernard Hopkins. A lot of people gonna be mad at that. You know what I'm saying? But I cannot take away what Bernard Hopkins was able to do at a good 8 years after Manny Pacquiao just did it. You see what I'm saying? Now, Manny Pacquiao has a bunch of fights. He's an 8-division world champion. I don't take that away from him. But what I would have liked to see him do is fight more fights whenever he took titles at those particular divisions. Like, for example, we like to talk about when he was at 130, I believe, or 135. He fought David Diaz, right? And then and another thing, some of these motherfuckers are like, you know what I'm saying? Like David Diaz, bro. You know, nigga, I might be able to beat David Diaz. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, he should have. We always talked about him fighting Nate Campbell. You know what I'm saying? There was the idea.
Nate was the lineal champion, I believe, at that time.
Right, he was. There was an idea of him fighting, what's his name? Edwin Valero. You know what I'm saying? Before Edwin Valero died, he had beat Antonio DeMarco. Immediately after beating Antonio DeMarco, they wanted to talk about the Pacquiao fight. But Freddie Roach at that time was like, no, we don't want that fight. Yeah. So they wouldn't have even fought Edwin Valero. You see what I'm saying?
No, they went up in weight. The winner of Marquez Pacquiao was supposed to fight Edwin Valero, and Pacquiao went up in weight.
Exactly. So they would have skipped out on that fight. You see what I'm saying? They went up in weight. They went to 140. They took on Oscar De La Hoya, but they brought De La Hoya down from 160. You see what I'm saying? One thing Floyd Mayweather wasn't doing, he wasn't bringing niggas down at catch weights like that. He did bring Canelo down to a catch weight, right? It was like 152, but it was 2 pounds. You see what I'm saying?
He did.
Manny Pacquiao brought what's his name? Oscar De La Hoya down to 145, a 145-pound catch weight. From 160.
And the last fight he had at was 154 or 160?
160. Yeah, he was campaigning at 160 at the time. Brought him down to 145.
Same thing with Cotto.
Did the same thing with Cotto. Right. He was campaigning at 154 at the time. Brought him down to 145. You see what I'm saying? So I remember watching Oscar De La Hoya and it's kind of like the HBO 24/7. It might have been 24/7 actually, now that I think about it. But they were following him in training camp and shit. And I remember watching him. He was saying that he's not eating, and he was taking these weight loss pills. And what happened was he woke up one morning. Cameras were on him. He said, "Yep, this is my lunch." He said, "This is my breakfast. Took one pill, my lunch. Took another pill, my dinner. Another pill. Did something to that effect, and was drinking water with it." And said, "Yeah, this is what I do." You know what I'm saying? In order to make the weight for Manny Pacquiao. So when he did that, that kind of told me right then and there, like, bruh, he is killing himself to make weight to fight at Manny Pacquiao at a weight that he designated. I can't give Manny Pacquiao this win, or at least credit for this win that he's about to get. He's about to knock this dude out. You know what I'm saying? What were you laughing at? Go ahead, man. What were you talking about?
No, I was laughing at what you was talking about, because I remember watching it like, God damn, what the fuck?
Right.
What kind of fucking diet is this?
Right. Like it was a bad situation.
Damn, what?
Yeah, it was a bad situation with him actually admitting on camera that he's not even fucking eating. You know what I'm saying? He's not even eating, bro.
Like, what kind of fucking diet is this?
Right. So I can't really give him too much credit for that win. Ricky Hatton, I give him credit for it. But he had just lost to Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, he just got knocked out.
That was in debilitating. I mean, listen, and this is another thing. When you look at fighters and how they carry themselves, how they create this persona, right, that follows them throughout their career. And looking at Ricky Hatton now and who he has become, you can't tell me I'm wrong with this assessment. Ricky Hatton's a guy. You think Floyd Mayweather's a guy that harps on his O? Ricky Hatton was really a guy that harped on his O. If Ricky Hatton lost earlier in his career, he would have retired earlier, right? Mm-hmm. He wouldn't have been the Ricky Hatton he ended up being before he ultimately retired. You see what I'm saying?
That's true.
He's one of those guys that needs the crowd behind him. He needs to be the top dog of a division, right? He needs to have all eyes on him, and he can't lose. If he loses, his fucking self-motivation is gone. Self-esteem is at 0, bro. And when Floyd Mayweather hit him and spun off and ran that motherfucker head first into the turnbuckle, nigga, on some WWE shit, bro, that debilitated Ricky Hatton.
Hey, man.
What's up?
Nigga, either, man, hold on, wait a minute. Motherfucker, either you are that good or your ass watch Ricky Hatton talk about his life on Sky Sports.
I don't watch Sky Sports, so I don't know. What did he say?
Exactly what the fuck you just said. That motherfucker said exactly what you said. I saw this shit. He said when he lost to Floyd Mayweather, he never felt right. He said, I never felt right. I never got back right. And then losing to Manny Pacquiao, that just devastated me because I was supposed to win. Everybody was looking at me to win. I felt like I let my entire country down and everything when I lost that fight. Well, that's why to hear you sound like you gotta fucking be kidding me.
Nah, man. Like, first of all, I'm not. Ricky Hatton wasn't a guy that I actually thought was a good fighter, in my opinion. A lot of people are gonna be mad about that, but I didn't think Ricky Hatton was that great of a fighter. I knew Floyd Mayweather was gonna fuck him up. I thought that was gonna be an easy fight for Floyd. It turned out to be. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But so yeah, I wouldn't go watch a documentary on Ricky Hatton. I'm not interested. So I've never seen that, but the reason why I came to this conclusion is because Ricky, first of all, if you watch the build up to the Floyd Mayweather fight, it was kind of like how they were treating my guy that fought Larry Holmes, the white guy. Why am I forgetting his name?
Jerry Clooney.
Thank you, Jerry Clooney. You know, it was like the Great White Hype, right, or the Great White Hope, but Ricky Hatton was from England, and Americans actually embraced Ricky Hatton because they didn't like Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying?
Like that movie. What was the name of that movie with Samuel Jackson and Damon Wayans?
The Great White Hype.
Yeah. Great White Hype.
Oh. Yeah. The Irish Ricky Conlan or some shit like that, right?
Yeah.
So all them Americans was rooting for the Irish guy. He wasn't even Irish. He was like, I'm not even Irish. They were like, well, it helps build intrigue. You know what I'm saying? Yep. But that's pretty much what was happening with Ricky Hatton. A whole bunch of fucking Americans embraced him because they hated Floyd Mayweather. They wanted to see him lose. So he had double the fan base. Great Britain and fucking America, right? And when he lost the way that he lost, I'm telling you, given the type of guy that he is, the way he carried himself in his career, that debilitated him. He cared more about his I would submit than Floyd Mayweather cared about his. Guarantee it, bro. You want to know why I know that? Because that's why he started sniffing that motherfucking Lisa Kudrow, nigga. That's why he started sniffing that Nicole Kidman right after he lost to Manny Pacquiao. That's why, bro.
Suicide, thoughts of suicide.
Thoughts of suicide. Exactly. Yeah. See, I don't think Floyd Mayweather would have done any of that shit if he would have lost to Zab Judah, if he would have lost to Oscar De La Hoya. You know, if he would have lost the first fight to Marcos Maidana. Hell, if he would have lost the first fight to Jose Luis Castillo.
Still, yeah.
He wouldn't have done none of that shit. Because he's mentally fit. Floyd Mayweather's a mentally fit motherfucker, man. You see what I'm saying? Boom! Curtis came in with the motherfucking comment right when I said it. He said Hatton was mentally weak.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Ricky Hatton was a guy that, and I'm gonna say this too about Pacquiao. A lot of cats gonna get mad at it, right? Because there's a lot of fluff when you look at a lot of things, right? Ricky Hatton was a guy that beat Costa Tszyu, and Costa Tszyu was perceived to be the man, but Costa Tszyu was past it by that time. Right. I mean, let's be honest about it. He was past it by that time. And when you look, and this is why I say Bernard and Floyd, in my opinion, is over Pacquiao, because Pacquiao beat Eric Morales and Marco Antonio Barrera that was also on their way the fuck out.
Yep.
Then he beat Oscar De La Hoya, like you said, he drained, but he was also on the way the fuck out. Yeah. Okay, a Shane Mosley that Floyd had already beat.
Oh, Shane.
As a matter of fact, when he fought Shane Mosley was 1-2-1. I remember. Right. Okay, so you're absolutely right. And when you look at Floyd, he was fighting guys coming off win streaks or guys who had just won titles. Same thing with B-Hop. He was fighting guys that was either dominating or were champions. So absolutely, dog, I give you that. And that's the thing of like when I look at guys like Ricky Hatton remind me of guys like Jeff Lacey, remind me of guys like David Reed. Some of these dudes, you can tell from a mental standpoint how they are, because when they are faced with adversity or when they lose, they don't know how to bounce back. That's how you can tell who are the guys that are real, who are the guys that mentally will quit, which Keith Thurman is going to have to do some soul searching. Does he quit and stop boxing, or do he keep going? Because if he says, you know what, I couldn't beat Pacquiao, I'm done, I'm out. Then we'll know you was another motherfucker that was mentally weak up there doing all that. Most mentally weak dudes, dog, got to do a whole lot of talking, got to do a whole lot of bloviating. Most guys who are already strong and mentally strong, they don't have to talk a lot. They really don't have to say a lot. You know? So
yeah,
man, you're spot on with that, man.
All right, so at the end of the day, I got Floyd Mayweather #1 at this era, #2 Bernard Hopkins, #3 Manny Pacquiao. What you got, man?
I got it the same way. Floyd Mayweather, Bernard Hopkins, Manny Pacquiao.
Now let me say this: if Manny Pacquiao fucks around and fights the winner of Sean Porter and Errol Spence and defeats them,
that's another conversation.
He's definitely above Bernard Hopkins, but that's a whole nother conversation about Floyd Mayweather, man. For real. Yeah,
it's a whole nother conversation, but
hey, man, Foss wants.
If he goes on and becomes undisputed.
Oh, if he's undisputed, he's over Floyd. I don't care.
He's over.
Look, y'all can, if Manny Pacquiao becomes the undisputed welterweight, first of all, welterweight is the most stacked division in boxing. If this motherfucker, and I'll say for him to become undisputed, it'll probably be like 42 years old, 43. Okay? It won't be any time. It'd be like 2022, some shit like that, if everything goes right. If this motherfucker becomes undisputed at the age of like 42, 43 years old, that means he would have had to have beaten either Spence, Crawford, right? Spence, Porter, and Crawford. Are you fucking kidding me? Bro, ooh. Yeah, he's over Floyd. No doubt about it at that point in time. I don't give a fuck who gets mad. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's ridiculous. And that's actually a feat I don't even think Floyd would have been able to do. To be honest with you. Because if Floyd would have fought Errol Spence, I think he would have lost. You know what I'm saying? If he would have fought Terrence Crawford, I think he would have lost. You see what I'm saying? So I don't even think Floyd would have been able to do that, bro. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, if he fucking does that, nigga, it's not even... My man Foss said, where does Keith Thurman go from here, man?
Okay, here's the thing, right? I'm gonna get in Keith Thurman ass a little bit, and here's the reason why. Well, fuck it, you know what? I'm not gonna explain why. If you don't know, then you don't know. If you get offense to it, then you just get offense to it. Number one, man. When you talk shit, I expect to see you back that shit up. When you talk the type of shit, I said this when Kovalev came with the war hat. Then everybody was telling me about Andre Ward doing that. Motherfucker, you came talking war. When you come talking that shit, then you better be prepared for whatever the fuck goes on in that goddamn ring.
Right.
Okay? So when you run your mouth and you pop shit and you make it seem like this dude is just a waste of time, I'm going to dust him and run him off. Okay? And this is what you was bloviating. And I said this. I said he better have a better performance than Jeff Horn. Okay, well, the motherfucker didn't. I'm just being honest. The motherfucker didn't. He took, for the first 4 rounds, he took quite a beating. And then, in my honest to God heart, when that knockdown happened, I heard the commentator saying it was a flash knockdown. No, dog. No, that wasn't no flash knockdown. He was fucking hurt. His legs went with the way he went down. A flash knockdown is when you stumble back, you go like, oh shit, okay. He went down and looked up like, God damn, this really happened to me. That motherfucker, he got hit and his leg short-circuited for a second. And then, of course, and it wasn't like he gets up and then the second round he turns around. No, he was getting beat on in the second round. He was getting hit on the third round. And I say this all the time about any fighter. Great fighters, you can watch all the tape you want. When you see that shit live, it is different when it is great fighters. You can bring in a motherfucker with the best jab that you think. When you see that shit live, it's different. You can bring in a motherfucker to be the best counterpuncher. When you see that shit live, it is fucking different. That's the thing when we're talking about this fight right here, okay? Keith Thurman saw it live.
Hey, hold on. Main event boxing, prove it. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah. So when you see that shit live, man, and it happens to you, and it starts giving you second thoughts in your head, like, oh, wait a minute. Okay, this might not go the way I want to do. I saw Keith Thurman doing little subtle things that let me know right then and there from Jump Street. this fight was going to be a Pacquiao fight. I'm going to tell you why. When Keith Thurman tried to fight Southpaw, you never did that before. As an experienced fighter, when they see you do shit like that, they know you're fucked up.
Yep.
They know I got you.
Yep.
You're doing shit you never done before. Motherfucker, I got you. When Kovalev tried to fight Southpaw, he never did it before, and Andre Ward saw it. That's when he hit him with that jab and that straight fucking right hand to put him on Court Street. Then, motherfucker, you ain't never did this shit before. I got you. See, that was one thing. The mental advantage, I think Keith Thurman gave it up. I don't give a fuck if it is Manny Pacquiao. You're not walking to the ring last. I am. I'm the fucking super champion. I'm walking to the ring last. You're not being introduced last. I am. I'm the fucking super champion. Yep. I'm not giving it up in negotiations. Fuck that, because you have to maintain that mental break and that mental edge. Any fighter will tell you that when you give up little subtle things like that, it sends a mental signal with him. When Keith Thurman was hitting Pacquiao with that right hand, Pacquiao wasn't going anywhere. Okay? That was fucking Keith Thurman up. And Keith Thurman betted on himself that he'd knock him out the first round, third, or seventh round. So there was a lot of mental things that was going on. So Keith Thurman has to reassess what it is he want to do. I don't think this was a fight, when I look at it now, after coming off that performance of Josecito Lopez, I don't think this was a fight that maybe Keith Thurman should have took. He should have took maybe one more fight or even fought somebody of higher level competition to see this shit in real time. And then the third thing is, and this one is gonna fuck with y'all, man. Keith Thurman had the kryptonite at the fight, y'all. The kryptonite was at the fight.
That
Why did you have the kryptonite
That's
at the fight?
a bad motherfucker. I didn't know she looked like that.
When I saw her, I said, hell yeah, you should have took 2 years off, motherfucker.
Nigga, when I saw her, bruh. Nigga, when I saw her, bruh, my writing was terrible for a second. Nigga, I had to go back. God damn, nigga, hold up, man. What the fuck did I just say?
Dude, wait a minute. I'm sitting hitting the pause button on the remote control, forgetting it's a live feed.
I'm telling you, bruh. That was a bad motherfucker, man. And that, you absolutely correct, bruh. That right there told me everything I needed to know. Because I think you wrote the article, man. I can't remember who wrote it, but we talked about as Keith Thurman's wife, a distraction or motivation. You know what I'm saying? Or a motivator, right? And, you know, at this point it's speculation. We don't know. But at the end of the day, see, let me say this, man. I don't really agree with fucking Ray Mancini ever. Hardly ever, right? But one thing he did say prior to the fight was that he didn't like how Keith Thurman had his wife in the locker room kissing on her, hugging on her, rubbing that booty and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Right before the fight. He didn't like that. And he said, for me personally, when I was fighting, I never allowed my wife and my kids to come in the locker room. I'll see you when I get home. Right.
Nigga, when I was in Golden Gloves, I told my girlfriend, don't come. Stay your ass home.
Absolutely.
Don't even come.
Yeah,
you don't want worried about you.
You don't want the distraction. See, I don't mind. See, I didn't mind, you know, who I was dating at the time to be in the fucking crowd and shit to watch the tournament. I didn't mind that. But don't be around me, rubbing all over me and shit while I'm trying. See, it softens a man when a woman comes around, right? When you have a woman's essence around you, it softens a man. That's a natural reaction. You see what I'm saying? Exactly. Especially a woman that you care about. It automatically softens a man. You see what I'm saying? At that moment in time, you don't want to be softened. This is the biggest fight of your fucking career. You see what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying she is the reason why she nigga, cause he said, don't blame dude, chick. I'm not. I'm just saying. I just getting ready to say, Kashad, I'm not saying she's the reason why he went out there and couldn't perform the way he needed to perform, the way that he said he was going to perform prior to the fight. That's not why. Hell, Manny Pacquiao is the fucking reason why. You see what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, that right there could have contributed to being a distraction, right? He could have been thinking in his head, especially after he got knocked down, like, fuck, man. My girl is out here, man. It's her first time in Las Vegas. This is her first fight that she's at. I got to get on my shit. You see what I'm saying? You don't want that kind of distraction, bro. You see what I'm saying? So, but at the end of the day, man, I'm gonna say something that kind of goes against what I said on the podcast. I don't think Keith Thurman should retire, bro.
I don't think he. I don't think he should either. Just go back and reassess. You listen. You lost to a great fighter.
Yeah.
That shouldn't diminish you at all. Period. I mean, look at what Carnelo when he lost to Floyd. You lost to a great fighter. Now you know what you have to do. Now you know when we talk about elite, there's I'm gonna give you three facets. There's B level, there's A level, and then there is elite. Right. Keith Thurman saw an elite level fighter for the first time in his life, and it fucked him up.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%. But the thing is, the reason why I don't think he should retire, because we said before in the other podcast, all the shit he was talking, he can't even win a split decision. He has to win decisively. But I'm going to go back and say that I don't think he should retire because the Manny Pacquiao we saw was phenomenal. This was a Manny Pacquiao that gives anybody trouble, bro. Now, I think towards the later half of the fight, if he would have fought Errol Spence, he would have ended up getting knocked out because the right hands that Keith Thurman was hitting him with, I don't think Manny Pacquiao would have been able to stay up from those. You know what I'm saying? If he would have fought Terrence Crawford, he probably would have got stopped as well. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But the motherfucking Manny Pacquiao that we saw for like 7 rounds, bro, that was a phenomenal Manny Pacquiao. And that was a Pacquiao that's very... Listen, man, ain't nobody going to just go out there and run over this guy early. That Manny Pacquiao, absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that he lost a split decision, which probably should have been unanimous. I don't know how Keith Thurman won.
I agree with that too.
I know Lord Zoe was in here saying that he had Thurman winning the fight 114-113. I don't know how the fuck he came up with that scorecard when Keith Thurman got knocked down. You know what I'm saying? How did he get to 114 when he got knocked down? But that's either here nor there. You know what I'm saying? The point is, the fact that he lost a split decision to a guy that you said was an elite level fighter, even at 40 years old, this isn't something that he needs to go back to the drawing board and say, you know what? I'm done. Nah, I don't think so. What I think he needs to do, Bo, and you might disagree with this, Keith Thurman needs to call out the winner of Sean Porter, Errol Spence. You want to know why? Because he needs to convince himself. He didn't say he was going to retire yet, so I'm assuming that he's going to keep boxing. He needs to convince himself that he is still good enough to possibly be the top guy in the division. See, we just said the winner of Porter Spence is a unified champion. They're still the top guy. If Keith Thurman were to fight the winner of that fight and win, even though he lost to Manny Pacquiao, guess what? He's still ahead of him. That's why he needs to do that. But does he have enough heart to do that shit?
You know, you bring up something that I think about. But Keith Thurman, if I'm Keith Thurman, I pick up my phone. I make a phone call to a one Oscar De La Hoya. I'm going to tell you why. Keith Thurman's in the same position Canelo Alvarez was when he lost to Floyd. Yeah. And you call and say, Oscar, what did you do to get your boy on track?
Right.
Okay? Because you're absolutely right about shut the fuck up, Kashad.
That nigga, man.
He fucked me up.
Hold on. Main event, are you listening to the podcast or are you just commenting? Did you hear what the fuck I just said?
Might be to him late.
Okay, but it doesn't matter. It's probably late by like a few seconds. So if that means he's not listening to the podcast. Go ahead, Bo.
All right, so pick up the phone, you call him, man, and you ask him, hey, what did you do to get your fighter back on track? Because here's the thing. I actually think I agree with you to this degree. He should call him out. I don't think the winner of Sean Porter and fucking Errol Spence fights him because they're going to be looking at Pacquiao. Like, no, we want Pacquiao. That's the money. But if he can't get them, then look at Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia is still a valuable opponent. Okay? Danny Garcia is still a valuable motherfucking opponent, especially if the fight with Mikey Garcia don't go through. You can still look at Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia is still a valuable opponent at that division to get you motivated and get you back going. That's what after Pacquiao got knocked out by Marquez, that's what he did. He went on that tour where he fought the fucking Jesse Vargas, the Tim Bradleys, and then the Chris Algieri's, and that got him back. So I definitely agree with you. He needs to take something that can get him back with a valuable opponent. Because I truly believe the winner of Spence Porter, they're not going to look to fight him. They're going to look to double up that belt for Manny Pacquiao in a big mega fight. So yeah, but if you can't get that, look at Danny Garcia. For sure, that right there, Danny Garcia, Jesse Vargas, you need to get a top quality motherfucking name at 147, get back in the ring and beat them and get them wheels going. So I agree with you because he's in the same position Canelo Alvarez is in. You lost to the best fighter in the world. You lost to arguably the best. Like we're talking about him being the third best fighter of our era. So that's what you lost to. It's not the end of the world.
I think Keith Thurman is 30 years old, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, you're right.
29 and 31 of them. He's got time. Listen, the Keith Thurman we saw tonight was the Keith Thurman that we saw of old. I'm gonna say that. All right, this is the same Keith Thurman that we saw tonight that defeated Sean Porter, that defeated Danny Garcia. All right, this wasn't no 2-year layoff. I know you're right. He's 30. Appreciate you, Curtis. This wasn't no Thurman that. He had a hurt shoulder. Or, he's come off a 2-year layoff. He just stuck his dick out some pussy. This ain't that Keith Thurman, even though the third one is correct. But that didn't affect Keith Thurman. You see what I'm saying? So, we still saw the best Keith Thurman that he had to offer, man. And in doing so, that showed me that he can still contend at welterweight. Right? He doesn't need to retire. He doesn't need to fight some whack-ass dude like Samuel Vargas in a tune-up. No. He had an excellent showing. Move him right back into contendership. You see what I'm saying? He lost his title. He's no longer a champion. Move him right back into contendership, bro. Try to get a rematch with Danny Garcia. Hell, Mikey Garcia. He wants to stay at 147. Right?
Kashad even mentioned Ugas.
You're Dennis Ugas. That'd be a good matchup in an eliminator. That'd be fucking excellent. You know what I'm saying? Now, his next fight will probably be, hey, good shit, Hamza. I agree with that. Adrian Broner. Actually, I thought Keith Thurman should have fought Adrian Broner instead of Manny Pacquiao. I'm going to be real with you. Because he said he needed 2 tune-ups. Then he was going to look for the big fight when he came back, right? First tune-up was Osito Lopez. Ended up not being a tune-up. Then he needed another tune-up or another fight to get him prepared for a big fight. I was saying fight Adrian Broner. You see what I'm saying? That would have been perfect for Keith Thurman.
Yes, it would have been.
Now that he lost, it's even more perfect. Fuck Ivan Redcock. Well, let him fight Ivan Redcock. When he wins that goddamn fight, look for him to fight you at the end of the year or something. You know what I'm saying? I don't know when he's going to fight. I think he's going to fight Redcock in October, September. So that might have to be next year. But that should be his next fight. Someone of an Adrian Broner caliber. Hell, if Lamont Peterson was still fucking around, I'd tell him to go for that fight. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
He needs to go right back into contendership, dog. The only problem that Keith Thurman had in this fight, and I'm going to do a small breakdown because we should have broke it down earlier. He just couldn't figure out the footwork of Manny Pacquiao early, bro. The footwork.
You think that's the only thing he did wrong?
No, I'm not done. The footwork coupled with not being able to judge where Manny Pacquiao was going to be next. And that was the problem that Adrian Broner had. That's the problem that everybody who loses to Manny Pacquiao has. He's able to move in a 3-point triangle and keep you in the middle of it. I told you guys in the podcast before this video that Manny Pacquiao, if he's able to do that, he's going to beat Keith Thurman. That's exactly what the fuck he did. There was a point like in round 5, this nigga Thurman turned around in a full circle like this. You know what I'm saying? He turned around in a full circle trying to get to where Manny Pacquiao was at. You know what I'm saying? He had no idea where Pacquiao was at, dog. He just throwing hooks and shit, hoping the motherfucker land on him. You see what I'm saying? He could not pinpoint where Manny Pacquiao was going to be next so he could mount an offensive attack. On top of that, when you can't pinpoint where your opponent's going to be next, you don't know what or how to defend against his offense. You see what I'm saying? That footwork was killing him. And the reason why Keith Thurman was able to make a comeback is because Manny Pacquiao tired, bro. Manny Pacquiao got tired. See, 40 years old, caught up to him like around, it was like round 7. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. I'll just be out.
Yeah.
Yep.
40 years old, caught up with his ass. Round 7, bro. That's when Manny Pacquiao was no longer moving. He was no longer providing those angles that he was providing early in the fight. And he was standing directly in front of Keith Thurman just long enough. Now, he wasn't just standing there like he was a fucking Ruslan Provodnikov. No. But he was tired, so he couldn't move as swiftly. So he was just standing there long enough for Keith Thurman to start mounting an offensive attack and landing some combinations. Another thing he did that helped him come back that he didn't do in the beginning of the fight, he wasn't using the fucking jab, man. We said in the podcast before this video, you gotta use the jab. What is Manny Pacquiao susceptible of? The jab, straight right combination. His entire fucking career, bruh. Most southpaws are susceptible to the straight right hand. That's a gimme. But he's susceptible to the entire combination. Yes, he does, Kashad. He had a jab in this fight, dog. He had a jab in this fight, in the second half of this fight. Yes, he did. You gotta use the jab. See, he didn't come out with that bitch. He didn't come out with that bitch in the beginning of this fight like we said he should. Instead, he did what Keith Thurman does. Tries to get in at mid-range and lead with a fucking hook. You know, lead with a straight right hand, which was fine later on in the fight when Manny Pacquiao stopped moving. But when he's moving like that, you can't lead with your straight right hand because that punch is slower than leading with your fucking jab. You got to lead with your jab first to stop him, then throw the fucking right hand. Finish off. You see what I'm saying? He wasn't doing it. He's throwing the right hand first. Or he's throwing a hook first. You see? What got him knocked down, he came in, threw a left hook. Manny Pacquiao blocked it. Right? Keith Thurman stepped back thinking, all right, bet, let me reset. But when he did that, Manny Pacquiao used his footwork, moved forward, came back with about 6 punches, nigga. Keith Thurman was like, hold up, nigga, hold up, hold up, nigga, hold up. Tried to back up, got clipped, knocked down.
Absolutely correct.
If he would have never lunged in with that left hook, stayed on the at mid-range and kept pumping the jab, Manny Pacquiao wouldn't have done that. You see, Manny Pacquiao was smart enough to see, hey, when he throws that left hook, that's going to take a lot out of him. He's going to try to reset. When he resets, I'm going to maul him. That's exactly what he did. Beautiful game plan. You see what I'm saying? But the only reason Keith Thurman actually came back is because Manny Pacquiao got tired, in my opinion. And he actually, that's when he started to rip combination. And he started using the jab too, excuse me. Using the jab, Manny Pacquiao was like, all right, what's coming next? This motherfucker don't jab. Then he would get hit with the straight right hand. A lot of times he was feinting. Then he'll lead with the right hand. Land flush on Manny Pacquiao. See? Beautiful, dog. But like I said, the way that he performed, it was the best Keith Thurman we're going to see. It just stylistically wasn't the correct Keith Thurman against this Manny Pacquiao, man. What you got to say, bro?
Hey, man, look, excellent breakdown. This is why I love doing this show, right? So let me show y'all something else. Keith Thurman didn't utilize the counters enough in this fight. Floyd Mayweather is able to counter, but he able to counter while maintaining pocket presence. And what that means is Floyd can't shoot, counter, move. Right. And when he moves, you have to either move or step, but it causes you to reset because you lose line of sight. Keith Thurman would counter and then step back. A veteran fighter like Manny sees you give up that fucking real estate, oh, he gonna get in that spot and come at you because you're giving it up. So he knows, okay, you're gonna step back, I'm gonna come forward. Because what I have to do is I have to make it look like to anybody watching that, yeah, you got me, but I'm coming back with something. Yep. So he allowed Manny Pacquiao to stay in the mental aspect of the counterpunching game. That was very key. The reason why Manny was debilitated against Floyd, because Floyd never let him get back in the mental aspect of the counter. Floyd, pop, move. Pop, pop, move.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that moving, Pacquiao couldn't get a rhythm because he's doing this. waiting to see where the fuck is this dude at.
Yep.
All right, that was one huge thing. Another thing, like you said, Keith Thurman never maintained his foot being on the dominant outside foot of Manny Pacquiao to keep Manny Pacquiao from giving him that space and movement. The reason why that was important, because Pacquiao was able to slide and move, and move.
He was killing that.
Yeah, if Thurman keeps his foot on the outside, he has to lift the foot and step. When any fighter has to lift the foot and step, number one, they lose momentum, but they also lose a little zip on that punch, and they're easy to catch and counter with a hook or catch and counter with a straight. All right? He was losing, he was giving that up also. When Pacquiao got tired, I said this in my head. This is the time you jump on this old motherfucker and you pulverize his fucking body. Yep. You beat the thing about body punching is you don't necessarily have to hit the body. You hit the elbows, hit the shoulders. When you're 40 years old, what them punches do is somebody hitting your elbows, somebody hitting your shoulders, somebody hitting your arm muscles or your forearms. It stiffens your arms up and it takes a little zip off your punches. To lift your arms after somebody hitting on them, it actually tires you out when you have to lift something that's sore to put the energy forth hitting somebody with it.
Right.
He never, like, when you go watch the Jeff Horn fight, Jeff Horn, although he wasn't landing flush on Manny, what he was doing was he was beating up the body. So when Manny was trying to do something, he's trying to lift something that's sore or stiffening up, and it's taking some zip off of it, right? Keith Thurman never did that. So by not jumping on him, by not, continuing his attack forward and stepping back, it gives the illusion to the aging fighter, okay, you're not confident enough in yourself to stay here on me, especially when I'm inviting you in. So you can't do that. So yeah, man, excellent observation by you though, man. That's what Keith Thurman went wrong, was he didn't keep the gas on when he saw he had a tired, older fighter in front of him.
Exactly. All right, man. Let's move into Dillian Whyte, man. And we're going to try to keep this brief. We already been on an hour and 7 minutes, man. So, Dillian Whyte did what we said he had to do to win, but our predictions were wrong, right? We predicted Oscar Rivas might pull it out by knockout. He almost did. What was that, round 9? I think it was round 9. Motherfucker came inside. It actually is kind of the same situation where Keith Thurman started to come back in his fight. Oscar Rivas came back in that round because Dillian Whyte took his foot off the gas. Had his back up against the ropes, and then that's when Oscar Rivas charged in through a combination. The combination ended with a right uppercut that hurt Dillian Whyte, then the left hook put him down. You see what I'm saying? Left hook didn't hit him in the head or not hit him in the shoulder, but that was enough to put him down. Oscar Rivas got some big-ass hands. You know what I'm saying? So his motherfucker got hit in the shoulder and went down, said, fuck you.
No shit.
You know what I'm saying? So, but Dillian Whyte surprised me because I did not. We said he needed to use that jab, stay on the outside, right? And he couldn't get tired. That was the biggest things that we said that he needed to do to win this fight. I didn't expect him to do it. I said specifically, I don't expect him to do this. That's what I said.
Not for no 12 rounds.
Not for no 12 rounds, exactly. And he did it for 11 rounds. You see what I'm saying? That was enough, right? He didn't get knocked out. He got up, recovered. He said he went on to dominate that round. I disagree. In that round, he ran. Or I mean, I don't like to say ran. In that round, he avoided Oscar Rivas the rest of the round.
He was in serious retreat mode.
Retreat. That's a better word. Retreat. He was retreating for the entire round because he didn't want to get knocked out. He felt that power. He said, fuck that. I'm winning this whole fight. I'm not about to make no mistakes now. So he retreated the whole fucking round. So for 11 out of, well, I say, how many rounds did I give Oscar Rivas? I think I gave Oscar Rivas 3 rounds or 4 rounds. I can't remember. So let's just say 8 out of 12 rounds. He did exactly what the fuck he was supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? The jab was money, bro. This motherfucker was setting up the jab. Or I'm sorry, he was setting up the right uppercut from a distance, bro, behind the jab. That's how much he was benefiting from the height and reach advantage. You see, he literally relegated Oscar Rivas to a one-dimensional fighter who could only possibly jab his way on the inside, then maybe get some work on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
But see, the problem with Oscar Rivas is this. He's too short for the heavyweight division. So when you're too short for the division, guess what you got to be able to do? You got to be able to move. Oscar Rivas has no fucking footwork, dog. The kind of footwork that Mike Tyson had, the kind of bobbing and weaving and shit to get around that jab, that's what Oscar Rivas has to employ, bro. I want Oscar Rivas from here on out watching videotape of Mike Tyson and then going into training camp. He ain't even got to have a fight scheduled. He needs to go to the gym and try to duplicate or simulate exactly what Mike Tyson was doing, bro. He's got to, Bo. Because if he doesn't, he will never beat the guys that utilize a proper jab to keep him on the end of that punch and keep him on the outside. The Tyson Furies, the Deontay Wilders, the Dillian Whytes, right? He won't be able to beat those guys, bro. Shit, Anthony Joshua does it when he's supposed to. I don't know what the fuck he was doing against Andy Ruiz.
Ruiz, yeah, no shit.
But before that, he was one of those guys that did it. You see what I'm saying? Anybody that, hell, let me tell you this. We just seen it. A motherfucker that normally doesn't utilize the jab in that manner can start doing it against Oscar Rivas and beat him. Dillian Whyte just did it.
He sure did.
So we can name other guys that can employ a jab of that nature that have the skill that don't actually do it. But against Oscar Rivas, they can employ it and actually beat him. That's a problem, Bo. He's got to work on his footwork. He's got to work on his bobbing and weaving, dog. His head is on the center line. So he was getting tagged all fucking fight, bro. He had to rely on Dillian Whyte getting tired and making a mistake, like taking his foot off the gas in order to get inside. Now, he did jump on him in the first round, right?
Mm-hmm.
Won that first round convincingly. But the adjustment was Dillian Whyte said, all right, motherfucker, let me move back here then. You want to lunge in? Ha, here you go. You know what I'm saying? Ha, ha, here you go.
Right.
And I think it was actually a left hook while he was coming in. I can't remember. It was one of them shots. Left hook or right hook. While he was coming in, tagged Oscar Rivas, knocked him backwards, wobbled him. And then that's when Dillian Whyte tried to fucking doing all this wild shit to try to knock him out. That was in the second round. When that happened, Oscar Rivas was then afraid to jump on him. You see? Now, with you making your opponent, who's much shorter than you, has a shorter reach, right? When he's afraid to jump on you, oh, it's easy work to get comfortable on the outside and just jab all goddamn day. That's all you got to do. Here you go. Look at my jab. This shit whack as fuck. But that's all you got to do. That ain't even no jab, bro. That's some whack shit.
I fucking said this shit whack.
You know what I'm saying? Then you got to do this shit, dog. That's it. That motherfucker gonna stay out there. He's scared to jump in. He's scared to jump in, bro. You know what I'm saying? He's scared to jump in, bro. So that's all you gotta do, bro. And that's what the fuck he did. Way better than that shit. Way better jab than my jab, right? But that's what he did. You see what I'm saying? And it led him to victory. Excellent performance by Dillian Whyte. Did exactly what he was supposed to do against a very game opponent. He's the mandatory. But does that mean he will get the shot next or even the fight after that? Will he realistically be waiting probably late 2020 or even 2021, Bo? What do you think about that?
I think it'll be late 2020. Eddie Hearns has already conceded that it'll be probably, hopefully by the end of May of 2020. They've accepted that Dillian Whyte he's going to have another fight by the end of the year, and then hopefully the winner of that will fight Dillian Whyte. So he's not going to get the next fight, but maybe he'll get. And then, of course, you know, this is WBC, right?
Right.
Let me say this. Deontay Wilder could beat Luis Ortiz. Then he goes on to beat Tyson Fury. If Anthony Joshua wins his belt back, honestly speaking, I don't think it matters. Whether it's Joshua or Ruiz, Deontay Wilder's going to go after whoever their winner is. He's going to go after Joshua because he don't want to take the risk of Joshua taking another fucking L.
Right.
up front. You can't risk it now. He got the belts back. If I'm Deontay Wilder and Joshua beats Ruiz, whether he beats him convincingly or almost beats him, I'm gonna fight him right away because why? I'm not gonna believe he's mentally right. I'm gonna test him. So I'm gonna look to fight. Fuck, because I'm like, hey man, okay, yeah, you beat Andy Ruiz, but I don't think you're mentally right. So I'm gonna test you. That's me. Right. If Andy Ruiz win, I'm definitely finna fight you, motherfucker. I know I'll whoop your ass. I know I'll whoop your ass. I'm definitely finna fight you and become an undisputed heavyweight world champion because regardless of what any of you motherfuckers say, once he becomes that, you get to, oh, well, he didn't fight you. It don't fucking matter who he fought, motherfuckers. It only matters what his accolades are. His accolades is undisputed world champion. Those are the accolades. Lineal, heavyweight, undisputed world champion. Those are the fucking accolades, regardless of what y'all say to me, right? Because, for example, if fucking Wilder loses to Ortiz and then he goes into that fight, it don't matter. Yeah, it's the accolades. Okay, so that's gonna happen, and then after he becomes undisputed, he got to deal with other mandatories, and he can always ask the WBC to, hey man, make an injunction for me.
Right.
Make an injunction for me so I can fight. Because the IBF of Kubrat Pulev, they're gonna try to pull a motherfucking rank. The WBO is gonna try to pull a motherfucking rank. Yes, all these cats gonna try to pull a motherfucking rank. So you have a point. Like all of this is gonna depend on what plays out over the next course of the month as to what goes on with Dillian Whyte. But now as far as the fight goes, you have to admit Dillian Whyte has drastically improved.
Absolutely.
Since the Anthony Joshua fight. Yeah. And with this win, Dillian Whyte became the what, 2K?
Shit, the mandatory.
So you sure it's mandatory? It's not eliminator. It's
yeah.
I'm just making sure it's mandatory, right? I just want to make sure
like this wasn't even billed as an eliminator. This was billed as the fucking fight that names a mandatory. See, there's a difference. You could be an eliminator and not be the mandatory. That's happened before. You see what I'm saying? They straight up said this is for the mandatory spot. Typically, when you're an eliminator, you assume, hey, that's the mandatory. But there's been times, like right now, Teofimo Lopez might not be the mandatory for Richard Commey. We'll see how it plays out.
He just fought an eliminator. Same thing with my girl who's fighting Chantel Cameron. She's fighting the WBC eliminator.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody else just fought eliminator too. Ugi's fight was a WBC eliminator.
Yeah. Was it Ugi's?
Yep, that was a WBC eliminator.
Okay.
You know, but you know what Dillian Whyte did was he showed that under extreme. What I like about his performance was he showed under whatever amount of pressure that is, he didn't mentally shake. He didn't mentally fold. He didn't mentally let himself get distracted by what was going on. Right. He took everything, wrapped it around, and stayed focused. So I'll give him all the credit in the world for that because we talked about it. We said, listen, man, if this is affecting him, depending on how it's affecting him, this could go one way or the other way. The other guy who I believe got affected by it was fucking Rivas. Because I believe when Rivas couldn't get in, I believe he showed a little bit of frustration, and because in his mind he's thinking, "Fuck, this is my chance at a title. It's my chance at a title." And I think that especially when he got Dillian Whyte hurt in the 9th round, we saw him going for it like what he did against Dillian Whyte in the 9th round is not what he did against Brian Jennings in the 12th. He was a bit more composed. And I think that overwhelmed him. It's kind of like what Luis Ortiz did when he had Wilder hurt. He said, all I saw was the championship.
Well, you're absolutely right because Rivas gave everything he could to try to knock out Dillian Whyte, and he paid for it in the 10th round. He was completely tired and lost that 10th round convincingly.
Yes, he did.
So you're absolutely right. But, I mean, at the end of the day, my prediction is I don't think Dillian Whyte gets a title fight until 2021 because Deontay Wilder has a full schedule ahead of him, bro. Right? Like you said, Dillian Whyte already acknowledged he's trying to come back in November. I think they understand that too because Dillian Whyte wasn't even happy he was named the mandatory. They asked him about it. He was like, we'll see. You know what I'm saying? He was like, I could probably be the mandatory for another 600 days. That was his response. He wasn't even fucking happy that he was the mandatory, dog. You know what I'm saying? But they acknowledged, or he said that he's coming back in November. They acknowledged that's not going to be a Deontay Wilder fight because Deontay Wilder fights Luis Ortiz in November. You know what I'm saying? Also, that February 22nd date, Tyson Fury's been running around saying, he talking about that the rematch is going to happen. That's not happening, bro. Wilder's not going to fight Tyson Fury. Fight fucking Luis Ortiz in November, then turn around 3 months later and fight Tyson Fury in February.
You know shit.
That's not going to happen. So you can
happen.
look for that date to get moved forward, right? I'd expect Deontay Wilder to fight Tyson Fury possibly in March, April, or May. And I'm thinking May. You know what I'm saying? Maybe April because
you have
May
an excellent point there. I didn't even think about that. Man for man, I didn't think about that.
Exactly.
You got an excellent point. That shit might not happen in 2021.
Exactly. It will be like fucking April or May he fights Tyson Fury, given when he's fighting Luis Ortiz, okay? Then they're talking about a fucking rematch. Or a trilogy, excuse me. Whoever wins the fucking fight in the rematch, they want a trilogy. You see what I'm saying? If a trilogy goes down, that's going in the second half of the year. You see what I'm saying? Let's say there is no trilogy. Now, understand, through all of this, people, the WBC is not going to mandate Dillian Whyte. They won't mandate it.
Too much fucking money.
Too much money on the line. Exactly. These sanctioning bodies are non-profit organizations, but they get money underneath the fucking table by sanctioning certain bouts, okay? So there's a bunch of money on the line when you're talking about 2 Tyson Fury fights, and possibly, if they don't make the trilogy, right? If Andy Ruiz defeats Anthony Joshua a second time, well, then you got a undisputed title opportunity against a guy that Deontay Wilder will most likely knock out in 5 rounds. And that's Andy Ruiz in the second half.
Ton of money. That will be a ton of fucking money he'll make.
Exactly. In the second half of 2020. Hell, if Anthony Joshua defeats Andy Ruiz, that fight might get talked about as well. You see? Yeah. Now, if that scenario happens, that's when I might say Dillian Whyte gets the shot if they don't get the trilogy with Tyson Fury. And, of course, I'm assuming Tyson Fury loses the rematch. You see what I'm saying? If Deontay Wilder defeats Tyson Fury in April or May, Anthony Joshua defeats Andy Ruiz. Stay with me. Stay with me, people. Right? Then the second half of 2020, I don't think Anthony Joshua fights Deontay Wilder. I don't think so. Not after he just regained his titles back. Probably going to fight Kubrat Pulev. Guarantee it. Okay? If they don't want the trilogy with Tyson Fury and with Anthony Joshua going towards Kubrat Pulev, I guarantee that's where Dillian Whyte gets his shot.
Okay.
But if it doesn't work out that way, any other way, other than that, bro, Dillian Whyte got to wait till 2021.
Mm-hmm. And you know, we just saw this play out live with Charlo.
Yeah, exactly.
We just saw this play out live with Charlo.
Exactly. So, while it's a good situation for Dillian Whyte, I don't think he's in any way, shape, or form close to getting that title shot he's been wanting for 2 years. I submit he has to wait another year and a half
I agree.
before he gets it.
I agree. I mean, dog, when you look at everything you're saying, I agree, man. I agree. I mean, he fights, because I thought he was fighting Luis Ortiz in September. You saying he fights him in November.
It's already on the docket. It's like November 9th.
Okay, he fights him in November. You're right. He's not finna turn around November, December, January, fight Tyson Fury in February. Get the fuck out of here.
And look, Main Event Boxing Talk made a good point because the WBC already said they would do this for Deontay Wilder. He might become the franchise champion. That's a whole nother can of worms after that.
That's a whole nother can of worms. You're absolutely right.
That's
a whole nother can of worms.
Dillian Whyte will then probably be moved into the WBC champion if Deontay Wilder becomes a franchise champion, right? Because that's what they did to Jamal Charlo. Jamal Charlo had the interim belt. Dillian Whyte has the interim belt. Canelo's a franchise champion. Jamal Charlo became the WBC champion. If Deontay Wilder becomes franchise, Dillian Whyte will get the WBC belt. But here's the problem, though. Bo. Deontay Wilder will not be obligated to fight him.
Yep.
He still
Dillian
won't
Whyte
get
would
the
just
fight
have
he
a belt.
wants.
Yeah. He'll just have a belt. He'll just have, and wait, man, what's fucked up is some people still try to make the case that he's an undisputed champion.
Yeah, right.
If Wilder winds up winning, they say he's still undisputed champion.
Man, dog. So while this seems like good news, and it is, I'm not trying to take anything away from it. It might not be the kind of news as it seems. Just like how this world is run, it's not run as it seems. That's exactly what's happening with this shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's a level below, man.
Oh, yeah.
We never said that he wasn't.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That really doesn't matter at the end of the day. We're talking about the legalities. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, that situation, a number one, Wilder has a longer reach, and Wilder starting to use his jab. That would put Dillian Whyte at a disadvantage. And then, unlike Oscar Rivas, man, Wilder is a finisher.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, he's a level below both of those guys, absolutely. But at the end of the day, that doesn't matter. We're talking about him being mandated to fight Deontay Wilder as the mandatory. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, the logistics.
And when will that happen? That's the conversation. So,
yeah, man.
But yeah, he got a while to wait though, bro. You got anything you want to add, man?
Yeah, I want to say something, man. And I hope it's okay to talk about it. I want to bring up something that Sean Porter said in that press conference with Earl Spence, man.
What'd he say?
He said, Earl think he's, Earl think he's the money man at the welterweight division, and he said about him thinking he's the money man, and then Earl said something about, if you try to box me like you did Uga, I'm gonna put you on your ass, and he was like, Earl, can you box? Can you box? Yeah. Here's my issue, and now all of that don't bother me. Because like Earl responded when he told him, motherfucker, I was on the Olympic team. You figure out, can I box?
Yeah, right.
Right. Because Sean took exception to Earl saying that that was the wrong game plan against Ugis. He was like, was it the wrong game plan? He said, yeah, a lot of motherfuckers thought you lost. Hell yeah, that was the wrong game plan. I get where Sean is coming from as far as trying to say I won the fight. So how can you say it was the wrong game plan? I get that part of it, right? But like Earl is saying.
Technical point of view, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely get that. But I'm like Earl is saying that really was the wrong game plan because a lot of us felt that Ugis won that goddamn fight. But as far as him saying Earl believes he's the money man at the division, well, Sean, you openly said that when you said you was willing to go to Texas to fight Earl. The only reason why you would be willing to do that is if you are already acknowledging that this dude can bring in more money than you fighting in Texas than you fighting him in Ohio. So when you said, hey, I'll fight him in Texas, when you agreed to fight him in Texas, when you said I'd love to fight him in Jerry World, when you said that was you acknowledging, yeah, man, he is the money dude at the welterweight fucking division. What do you think about that, man?
I agree with that 100%. And it's an indirect acknowledgement. You know what I'm saying? He saw what he did on pay-per-view down here in Dallas. You know what I'm saying? He saw the ticket sales, or at least he heard about the ticket sales and numbers and all that shit. And at the end of the day, he's never done anything like that. He's never even been on pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying?
Keith Thurman and Danny Garcia didn't do a payper-view.
Didn't do a pay-per-view. Neither one of those guys. You know what I'm saying? Those are top fights in the division. Didn't make pay-per-view. So, Errol Spence is fought a guy that wasn't a top fight in the division and made pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying? And now he's fighting another top fight in the division and made pay-per-view again. Hell, when he fought Kell Brook, that made pay-per-view out in the UK. So
and push for this fight to be pay-per-view because they were talking about it. Now he said, y'all crazy? Y'all better make this a pay-per-view fight. What's wrong with y'all?
Exactly. So, yeah, at the end of the day, Sean Porter knows what Errol Spence has accomplished in terms of being the top dog, the alpha at welterweight. And he can't come out and say that he acknowledges it. You know what I'm saying? He can't do that.
You know what? Now, I will say this. I'm glad he didn't do that. I am glad he didn't do that. Exactly. That's what he should have. Matter of fact, I was okay with him defending it not being the wrong game plan. You should fucking do that. You're the champion.
Well, and that's where I was going with this. Exactly right. You don't concede to no other motherfucker in front of nobody. You don't concede to him, period. But definitely in front of nobody, right? My argument would have been like, all right, motherfucker, you do what he did then to beat me. If you think Ugas beat me, then you go do it then, motherfucker. We'll see September 28th. You see what I'm saying? That's my comeback to Errol Spence saying that shit.
Yeah,
you know?
hell
And
yeah.
I would have said all sorts of motherfuckers. Nigga, we on pay-per-view. I'm cursing. You know what I'm saying? So, it is what it is. But, yeah, at the end of the day, Sean Porter's comeback was, well, he wants to be me. He sees, I'm being, I'm running the PBC show, and they got me groomed as an analyst like Paulie Malignaggi and all that shit. He wants what I got. And at the end of the day, that was a weak ass argument because he's got more than you in the aspect of what you guys are talking about. You're talking about fighting. You know what I'm saying? You're not talking about what you do as a fucking analyst. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about fighting, and in the fight game, the nigga has more than you.
Well, yes, actually, he has. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, yes, y'all have the same amount of titles, but the motherfucker has more popularity. He has surpassed you.
You hit it on here because I was going to say, actually, when you want to look at outside the ring, he's been on The Breakfast Club. He's been on Hot 98. He had Dallas Television, so he's making the rounds, man, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, he's making rounds and shit. And at the same time, he's a pound-for-pound fighter. Yeah. I disagree with where they have him at on the pound-for-pound list, but hey, that's where he's at. Where are you at, Sean? Yeah. Nigga ain't even top 15 probably. If you go past 10, the next 5 fighters, Sean Porter will not be in that list. Just being real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, he's already surpassed you, bro. What the fuck would he be jealous about what you do as a commentator? He don't give a fuck about that. He's trying to get these straps. He's trying to solidify his legacy on top of getting paid. You see what I'm saying? So that was a weak-ass argument, man. He should have just said, man, look, motherfucker, you do what the fuck Ugas did on September 28th, nigga. If you think I lost that fight. I'm going to show you why I didn't lose that fight. That's what he should have said.
I agree with that.
It's Sean Porter.
You know, one last thing. You mentioned pound for pound. Does Manny Pacquiao with this victory?
Yes.
Does it? Okay. So are we saying he's number 5? I mean, where are we saying he at on that list? Is he in the top 5 or he's still second tier?
He's on the list. I mean, he's on the list now. I can't. He's not top 5.
Okay.
Yeah. Who's top 5 right now? You got. I'm in no specific order.
Errol Spence number 1. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah. Right. That's what I said. In no specific order.
Top 5, of course. Naoya Inoue. No specific order. Naoya Inoue, Terrence Crawford, Vasyl Lomachenko, Usyk, and damn, I'm missing one person. Canelo Alvarez. Yeah.
So those 5. No, I wouldn't put Manny Pacquiao over those guys yet. Not just yet. You know what I'm saying? But definitely in the top. He might even be 6. Now that I think about it, because after 5, it gets kind of weak after that.
Yeah, you got Estrada. You got Juan Francisco Estrada.
Yeah.
You got what's up? Oh, dude, what's that dude name? Damn, motherfucker. Is it Takaki? The motherfucker has orbital bone broken by Angel and
Oh, Kosei Tanaka.
Kosei Tanaka. You got Kosei Tanaka.
Yeah.
So
it gets weak after that, and that's after 5. You got a lot of people putting dumb niggas in there and shit. I seen a motherfucker put Clarissa Shields in there.
Stop now.
I did, bro.
Listen, I'm the first one to tell you she shouldn't be on no pound for pound. But now that is, man, look here. Clarissa, if you watching this, honey.
Man, get that shit out of here, man.
That motherfucker right there. Y'all sleeping on Clarissa, man.
Oh, hell no, man. But yeah, no, I think he's top 10 for sure. I'd have to reevaluate. That's why I hate doing pound for pound lists, man, because it takes me forever to make one. Because I don't just consider I consider what everybody is doing in the sport, man. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I generally don't go past 5. 5 is because 5 are the top dudes that's doing some of the best things as far as unify. Because for me, the top 5 guys have to be unified champions and have to won titles in different weight divisions. That's for me. You know, Usyk is an exception because he became undisputed in a tournament. So I give him that.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Right. He became undisputed in lineal in a tournament. So you got to give him that because he beat all the top dudes to get that too. And I have to take that into consideration. So, man.
All right, man. You got anything you want to add?
No, man, I'm good, man.
Yeah, because I'm not adding Dave Allen on there. Listen, man, I hope Dave Allen's okay. But at the end of the day, that motherfucker quit. I don't care what anybody says. British people were mad as fuck at me, man, when I was talking about he quit. And it is what it is, man. He quit, dog. And the motherfucker told Darren Barker, he said, hey, stop the fight. Now, him doing that, as my man Jarrell Big Cool Fletcher said, he said, yo, he might have saved his life. Main event, before you comment, listen, man. Listen before you comment, bro. Before, when he told Darren Barker that, he probably saved his own life, bro. All right? Mm-hmm. So, when he told him that, he said, stop the fight, he probably could have stopped any permanent damage that could have happened later on. You see what I'm saying? So, while in the technical sense, how the fuck is it not quitting? If you tell somebody, hey, stop the fight. Or if you tell somebody, hey, I'm about to stop doing what I'm doing. I'm no longer going to finish what I started. That is quitting. And in whatever sense that you feel it is, it's still quitting. Negatively, positively, what the fuck ever. It's still a quit. Now, if we look at why he quit, then we come to realize that we can't, what's the word I'm looking for? We can't criticize him negatively, right? Put him in a negative light for making that decision. Why? Because, like my man said, he probably saved his own life. You see what I'm saying? So that's what happened. But at the end of the day, it's still a quit. See, them cats over there talking about, he didn't quit. What the fuck is quitting then? Go look up the definition of quitting something. You know what I'm saying? When you start something and you don't finish, that's a quit.
Right. You know, here's my thing with the Allen situation is this right here, man. After watching Dadashev being pleaded to by Hall of Fame Buddy McGirt. Right. After watching that, it was different when it was David Allen, because you're right. He did quit. Now we found out later on what was going on with him, and I get that and I understand that. But at the end of the day, it's still a quit. And as a fighter, I'm not gonna condemn him for doing it, because like it could have saved life. But as a fighter, right? I'm sorry, man. Unless my corner does what Buddy McGirt does, I'm going to fuck back out there, man.
Hey,
you know, because that's just my mentality.
Listen, man.
As you know, as a competitor, that's just, you know, that's just my fucking mentality, man. I mean, like, listen, a lot of times, man, y'all don't be privy to a lot of conversations. Prodigies had to call me and check up on me at work. Like, dude, Bo, you need to fucking eat, dog.
Yeah, I was actually doing that earlier today.
Yeah, Bo, need to fucking eat, dog, because that's, you know, my mentality. So, I mean, I get it, but, you know, yeah, he did quit. Now that might have saved his life. Same thing with Dadashev. I think what Buddy McGirt did actually probably saved his life.
Right.
You know, but when you look at fighters like, you know, G-Man, Gerald McCullough, you know, he's in the corner shaking. He knows something wrong with him. He going back out there.
Well, I mean,
you know?
My favorite example is Arthur Abraham when he fought Edison Miranda the first time and broke his fucking jaw like in the 4th round.
Yeah.
He broke, the nigga's mouth was hanging, B. He couldn't close his fucking mouth, dog.
Yes.
And he still went 12 rounds and won. And won the fight. And it wasn't a robbery. He won, right. B. You know what I'm saying? With a fucking broken jaw hanging off his motherfucking face, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then said, I'll rematch the nigga afterwards. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
no shit.
So I always go back to that as a good example, because that was one of the best situations of how you have the mindset of I'm not going to quit that I've seen as I've covered boxing. There's other ones, but this is the biggest one for me, bro. Because right. You could visibly see this nigga's mouth hanging down, bro. It was hanging off his fucking face, man. You know what I'm saying?
Or the dude's ear that was halfway off his head.
Yeah,
I'm still fighting.
You talking about Steven Smith?
Yeah, his
when
ear.
He fought,
his ear gone.
Yeah, he
gone.
fought Francisco Vargas, I believe it was. Yeah,
still fighting. They just finally look.
Oh,
man,
he got mad when they stopped the fight. Yeah. He's like, what the fuck you stopped? They said, nigga, your ear is missing, B. It said,
yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying? Your fucking ear is missing, dog. Like you can't go back out there, man. You know what I'm saying? GM Strong, that was late. That was before he fought. Oh wait, Thomas Hearns. Yeah, I thought he was. I read it and thought I saw fucking Marvin Hagler. He's absolutely right. Thomas Hearns. Yep.
Sugar Ray was told in the corner, if you get hit now one more time, man, you might go blind.
Exactly.
Like, shit, all right. Stand me up.
Exactly. So,
and this coming from motherfucker. Y'all know I talk plenty of shit about Sugar, Aaron Pryor, Duck, and Ray Leonard. Okay?
Right. Now, and listen, man, that is a special kind of fighter. Even though if you don't have all the skills, you could be a D-level fighter. But if you are getting hurt, injured to that degree, where motherfuckers expect you to quit and you don't quit, you're still a special fighter just without the skills. All right?
Right.
Some people have that special quality. Some people don't. David Allen didn't have it. I mean, I don't knock him for it. I'm just saying, before niggas get mad because people are critical of him, look at boxing history and look at the people that actually continue with far greater injuries. You know what I'm saying?
Very true.
So, it is what it is, man. But, like I said, he probably made the best decision to save his life because the way that he was trying to get his ass in there and inside of fucking David Price, I probably would have stopped the fight my goddamn self if I was Darren Parker. Not even knowing he was injured. Mm-hmm. I'd have been like, what the fuck? Never mind. Just get the fuck out the ring. This dude, this was the worst. This was the worst display of somebody trying to get inside of a jab I've ever seen. I've never seen anything that terrible. Trying to get inside a jab, bro. You know what I'm saying? And what makes it so worse is David Allen plays too fucking much. He jokes around too much. He's not funny, by the way. He has white boy humor. It's not funny. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being real with you, dog. I'm just being real with you, bro. It's not funny, man. You know what I'm saying?
But you're right.
It's not fucking funny, man. I'm just listen, man. I'm not trying to be rude, man. White people are not funny to me, man. They're not funny like that. Like they're funny in shit that they do in everyday life. You look at them and be like, look at this nigga. You look at white people, look how different they are. You know what I'm saying? Look at this motherfucker, look how he walk. That shit is funny. But when they try to stage how funny they are, it's not funny, bro. They try to tell jokes and shit. It's not funny. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. One white dude made me laugh. Dan Cook. That's it. No other one. What's the white dude that he's from Houston? I can't think of his name. He's married to a black woman. I can't think of his fucking name. But a lot of the comedy shows, he's always hosting them. I can't think of the guy's name, bro. But he made me laugh too, man. But that's because he be hanging around nothing but black. Gary Owens. There you go, Mike Wilson.
Gary Owens.
He be hanging around white folks. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Jim Carrey is another one. Jim Carrey is funny in movies. He's not funny in stand-up. Neither is Robin Williams. They're not funny in stand-up. We talking about stand-up. You know what I'm saying? They're funny in movies, though. Right?
Right.
But, yeah, anyway, when they stage their shit, it's not funny. David Allen, they love him. They think he's the funniest motherfucker on the planet. I'm looking at this dude. I'm like, he's not funny. Actually, it's annoying because you're getting ready to fight a fight. You need to be serious. You know? They're talking about how many trainers he's changed and shit. And they're like, man, it's hell trying to... They laughed at this. The commentators laughed at this. They said, oh, man, it's hell trying to train David Allen. Oh, man, he's switched so many trainers. He switched trainers like we changed socks.
That's not funny, man.
That's not funny.
That's a problem. That's
a fucking problem, exactly.
That's a problem.
Right?
That means he's not learning anything on a consistent basis. Exactly.
Right? So, hey, main event, we don't really get none of you motherfuckers over there. Y'all are corny. Real talk. Real talk, man. Y'all look some y'all say shit to us that's not an insult. Like when a British dude calls me a wanker, I laugh and say thank you. That's not an insult, nigga. You're telling me I jack off. Sure. Thanks. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck?
You know,
if you're a nigga, you don't listen, man. This rated TVMA. It says in the description. If you're a nigga and you don't beat your dick every once in a while, I don't. Something wrong with you. You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, hold on, dog. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. It's one of the famous Bo stories. Let me tell you something, man. And you are absolutely fucking right? If there is a man out there, a black motherfucking man out there, right, who married, got a girlfriend or whatever, and she playing that, coming, getting in the bed naked, rubbing the booty up, but not giving you some, I'm going off to the bathroom and beating this motherfucker down. I go to bed, bitch. I ain't got time for this shit all goddamn night. You fucking bitch. Fuck out of here.
I'm telling you, bro. Like they be saying, I heard one of y'all, main event. I heard one of y'all's fucking insult was a toss pot. Y'all go around calling niggas a toss pot. I dare you to bring your ass to America, walk in the hood and call a nigga a toss pot. I guarantee you, not only will you get robbed of your money, you'll be walking out the hood butt ass naked. Them motherfuckers will take the clothes off your ass, bro. A toss pot.
Hey man, listen, man. It's not even UK. It's other people from every place. Like I've heard people, he's a tosser, he's a jock, Dosser. So I'm like, okay, all right, that's not even. I walk away like that's them fighting words here. Them fighting words,
really?
Fuck out of here.
Hey, you know what? Hey, you started it, main event.
Yeah, he's like, love it. I know, listen, man, I know you love the show. You got to love this motherfucking show. But I'm just saying, though, man, if there's a married man if there's a married man out there with a girl, if you silly enough to let this bitch rub her booty up against you, not give you nothing to go beat your shit, you going to be the frustrated motherfucker all night. I'm going off to the bathroom. I'm beating my shit, then I'm going to fucking bed. I ain't got time for this shit.
What movie was that? Jim Strong put $2 on. He said funny as hell. Hey, look, what movie was that where the guy, it's something about Mary. I just got it.
Yeah, okay.
They told me
he had the shit.
Yeah. My man told him
with the loaded gun.
Yeah, my man Woogie said you gotta empty the canister. You know what I'm saying? Before you go out, you gotta empty the canister. And the motherfucker nutted and got out and he nutted and shit. I think she saw it and said, is this hair gel? And fucking, something like that. Yeah, hair mousse, yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's some real shit right there. You know what I'm saying? You can't be walking around with a full gun and shit, a loaded gun all goddamn day. You know what I mean? Shit. So when you call me a wanker or, a wank or something like that, I think that's I appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. You got anything, bro, you want to add?
I'm good, man. We went for a retard.
Nah, real
talk, what happens
though.
At 2 o'clock in the morning, I guess, around this motherfucker.
Real talk, though, man. I definitely want to say on behalf of Three Kings Boxing, though. Real talk. Yeah, man. Hey, they call me an asshole all the time. That works. Those insults don't bother me at all. You know what I'm saying? But definitely from 3kingsboxing.com. We hope David Allen and Maxim Dadashev a speedy recovery. You know what I'm saying? We have 2 guys in the same weekend that have gone to the hospital. This tells you that this sport is no fucking joke. You know what I'm saying? So we hope both of them a speedy recovery. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully they're able to get back to doing what they love doing. Real talk. All right, man. On further ado, or at least no further ado, however the fuck you say that shit. I don't know what to do. I'm tired of the bitch, bro. I'm tired, man. I'm telling you, bro. This has been a long day. I'm surprised I have as much energy I got right now, bro.
Hey, baby, this is dedication. Y'all don't realize this is dedication.
Yeah, man. It's been a long day, bro. And I got an early morning, man. You know what I'm saying? But y'all know what to do. Go to 3kingsboxing.com. Get the latest and greatest of boxing news and information as well as interviews. We got recaps on pretty much all the goddamn fights that happened today, plus some extra news that went down today. Tomorrow, I'm possibly, my interview with Demetrius Andrade is still on schedule. So stay tuned for that. We get Demetrius Andrade. It will go up on this channel. It will go up on Facebook. And it will also go up on the website. It will go up everywhere that you can follow 3 Kings Boxing. So stay tuned for that if it comes down. Also, Don't forget to go to Twitter at 3 Kings Boxing, Instagram at 3 Kings Boxing, Facebook.com/3 Kings Boxing. Hey, we'll let you on the show, but you got to battle one of us, dog. Ain't no guest. We ain't got no guest unless you a fighter, a trainer, or somebody like that. That's how you get on the show. But if you battling one of us or one of the staff members I got, you can get on the show. That's called the pit. Unless you getting in the pit, you can get on the show. You know what I'm saying? All right, y'all. Y'all know what it is, man. Monday and Thursday, 9:30 Eastern Time, 8:30 Central, 6:30 Pacific. Don't forget this podcast. Always pay attention to this channel. You never know when we going to go live. Also, check us out on Facebook. We will go live sporadically on there. All right? But until Monday, or maybe before, we out this bitch.